The Earth, since its immaculate conception, has been ravaged with extinction-level events, or ELEs, throughout its 4.6 billion year lifespan. These extinction events have been arguably the most important point of our existence today. I like to think that I'm not pessimistic, but we all need to embrace the impending destruction coming within our lifetimes. If Earth is Mother Nature, then space is the supreme dictator of nature. In 2008, an informal survey of experts at the Global Catastrophic Risk Conference suggested that there is a 19% chance of human extinction by the year 2100. Yes, there is cognitive bias, but no, they didn't include climate change or an asteroid impact. And these scientists solely focus on us ruining it for ourselves. The first recorded extinction level event around 2.4 billion years ago was known as the oxygen holocaust. Cyanobacteria convert sunlight into energy, and oxygen was the waste product. This oxygen was slowly combining with the methane in our atmosphere to produce carbon dioxide. Methane and carbon dioxide are both greenhouse gases, but carbon dioxide isn't as efficient as keeping the heat in the atmosphere as methane. The planet cooled rapidly and we set into an ice age. The microbes adapted to the conditions, began to respirate oxygen, and the anaerobic species were bound to the bottom of the ocean, hence beginning our hot, steamy love affair with breathing. The most famous extinction level event was the Cretaceous Paleogene event, a 10 to 15 kilometer radius asteroid that thwacked into the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico around 66 million years ago, wiping out 75% of the species on Earth at the time, famously including the dinosaurs. The explosion would have been more than 1 billion times the energy released in the Hiroshima bombing. The impact and re-impact of the ejected debris would blast the entire Earth with intense infrared radiation, sizzling anything unprotected, and as soot fills the atmosphere, the blocked out sun wouldn't reach the surface for up to a year. Mammals had heavy casualties, but considering the majority of mammals at the time were rat-sized, they had the ability to burrow or take shelter in the water, and they survived for long enough for us to be here today. One scenario I find to be particularly chilling is the idea that the magnetic field of the Earth can be flipped. The center of the Earth is a spinning ball of hot iron, which creates an electromagnetic shield from all of the solar radiation that we're bombarded with daily. If an asteroid hits and the spinning iron is disrupted, our protection could momentarily fail and all the oxygen on Earth would be vaporized, we'd suffocate, if we hadn't already been incinerated, frozen or drowned already. Past extinctions are scary to think about, but millions of years ago, we're invincible. Humans are great. As humans, we've only been on this Earth for a mere 200,000 years, but we have dealt with our fair share of catastrophe. The Younger Dryas impact hypothesis talks about fragments of a large asteroid or comet, more than 4 kilometers in diameter, hitting the Earth about 12,800 years ago. As early as 1694, a scientist named Edmund Halley, of Halley's Comet fame, suggested that a worldwide flood had been the result of a near miss by the comet. The asteroid impact onto the ice likely triggered the immediate melting of the ice covering North America and Canada, and raised the sea level as much as 28 meters. Even today, new archaeological sites around the possible impact zone are finding artifacts unique to asteroid impact, such as nanodiamonds, iridium, and platinum. Around the world, there are hundreds of flood myths, each with their own unique story about a great flood that swept the land in ancient times. Do we know for certain that these myths, which are coincidentally talk about the similar event, are fiction? Are they stories that have been passed down through thousands of years of tales? One myth I found particularly interesting was an indigenous Mexican story of a man and his dog being the only sole survivors of the flood. When the man's away, the dog takes the shape of a woman, and eventually the story goes on and the man and the dog woman repopulate the Earth. That was thousands of years ago, totally unrealistic. In 1908, over the forests of Siberia, an explosion flattened 2,000 square kilometers of trees, which is about the same size as greater suburban Melbourne. The meteoroid is thought to have disintegrated in the air above Siberia and was estimated between 50 to 190 meters across. A 2019 paper suggests that the explosive power could have been up to 30 megatons of force. That's 2,000 Hiroshima-sized nuclear bombs going off at once. You think that's scary? It's time to meet Apophis. Ra is the sun god, bringer of light, keeper of everything sacred, truth, justice, morality, harmony, balance. Apep, whose Greek name is Apophis, is a seething evil serpent, the greatest enemy of Ra and the lord of chaos. And they named an asteroid after him. And on Friday the 13th, 2029, it's coming within 30,000 kilometers of the Earth. Will it hit the earth? Kiss your loved ones. The human race is indeed a race, but what are we racing towards? The infinite goal of progress? The objective quality of happiness? Today, people infinitely pursue pleasure. I've pondered my existence in the world as a cog in the ad revenue machine that we live in, but everyone has so much potential and purpose within themselves, unique talents and a deep sense of self that no one else but you can know. So, stop and smell the roses before we're extinct.
We're in the endgame now.